Hi gang, this is Mike G from Mr. GTV, and wherever you're viewing this presentation, this is my point of view. You're actually looking out of my front windscreen as I drive round Hua Hin in Thailand. And coming up on the right hand side in a moment is immigration, and that's an interesting concept, immigration. I find the immigration service in Thailand excellent. Some people complain, but it is what it is. And what they're complaining about is checking everything. I have to come to immigration, see all the flags, I have to come to immigration every 90 days and sign in. When I buy anything in Thailand, I have to show them my passport. I've just been with a friend to hospital and he had to show his passport. Wherever he goes, he shows his ID documents. Now, lots of people with conspiracy theories, and possibly I'm one of those people with conspiracy theories, would say, oh, this is a nanny state, this is Big Brother watching you. Well, yes it is, but if you've got nothing to hide, then there's no problem. And there's lots of people in the world who've got things to hide. This is what the immigration problem is worldwide at the moment with transmigration, people moving from country to country, legally and illegally. And if you watch the UK news, and I'm from the UK even though I'm residing in Thailand at the moment, they've lost the plot on immigration. There's so many people coming over on boats. There's so many people coming over it illegally. They're losing the documents on purpose. They can't check them in, they can't process them. And there's people coming in legally and they lose track of them because there's no system. And Britain is getting overwhelmed by people who have paid no taxes, and they come over and they reuse the resources. Now in Thailand, as an expat living here at the moment, you know, there's strict rules and regulations. Now a lot of expats here don't like it, but to me, you know, they complain about the free use of taxpayer services in the UK, and yet they assume that those rules don't apply to them when they come to Thailand. I mean, the British pound against the Thai bahts is really good, so you can have a really good lifestyle here very cheaply in Thailand. Look at this on the bike. 3 on a bike, no helmet. Probably got no license and no insurance as well, but that's just the fun of Thailand. You're seeing it through my lens, you're seeing it through my front windscreen as I see it, and I'm heading from the centre of town out towards my project. So I've got no problem with immigration rules and regulations. Obviously bureaucracy is a pain in the bum, but at the end of the day there has to be checks. In a computer world, one of my challenges in Thailand is quite a lot of the stuff is paperwork based, but nevertheless they get the job done, and for me it works very well and I've got no complaints at all. The other thing that's happening in Thailand at the moment is we're going through a heat wave. Now, it's 43 degrees today. It'll probably be hotter as it gets towards midday and mid-afternoon. Usually 41, 43 on the dial, but feels like 45, 47. There's lots of people having heat strokes. Now, I live in a bungalow. There's fresh air where I am. I have a pool, I have aircon, and I have lots of fans. I mean, I'm a fair-haired British lad from Manchester. Blue-eyed, fair hair, I burn. So I don't go sunbathing. There's this expression that mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. Well, when it's sunny here, I don't go out midday or any time of the day. I dodge the shadows. The pavements are hot. I'm walking around in flip-flops or bare feet. Your flip-flops can stick to the concrete, and your bare feet, the soles of your feet will burn. You've probably seen these films where people go to these beautiful tropical beaches and they get carried to the deck chair because it's too hot to put your foot in the sand. That's the situation in Thailand at the moment. It's extremely hot. Your windscreen wipers, the rubbers will stick on the windscreen. You could fry an egg on the bonnet. Now there's an ambulance ahead of me. This is my point of view. These ambulances here are charity ambulances. There's no national health as such, although there's government-sponsored hospitals. And this is, you notice there that it actually has Siam transfer service. Siam is the old word for Thailand. So that's a private, probably charity donated sponsored, independent ambulance. It's got ambulance written on the back of it. The government give the Thai people the basics. Unlike Britain, where you can live quite well on benefits, there's no benefit system here in Thailand. There's no welfare state as such. It's pay for use, and if you haven't got the money, you die. But what tends to happen is the churches or the temples take up the slack. If you're lacking shelter, a roof over your head, and basic food, the temple will give you respite and they'll give you basic food, which I think is rather good, because I'm aware that the churches in Britain, quite a wealthy corporation, organisation, the Catholic religion and the Christian Church of Wales, Church of England, Church of Scotland, very wealthy, massive landowners, still take collection when you go to church, and yet during COVID they closed them all. I didn't see any, in my opinion, or my experience, didn't see any priests, churches offering any comfort. In fact, they were taking the government line and were making you, if they were open, wear a mask, and it was very authoritarian. It wasn't very compassionate, which is very different to what I'm experiencing in Thailand. Very friendly, very welcoming, very open to me, who's a British Christian. I don't even get asked, and yet I know that people have gone from other faiths, other denominations, other countries, and they get snubbed in the British faith system, in the British church establishment. I remember being told at the church that my father went to that they considered Thailand people that go to church rice Christians, because they just turn up for the free food, which I thought was very cruel. And that's Britain, that's the UK. But that, I don't get that when I come here. I get respected. I get respected in the banks, I get respected in the shops, I get respected in the restaurants, I get respected by the youth and the young. I've taught in schools, I get respected. There's no discipline issues here. My point of view is that whatever Thailand is doing and the direction it's going in the right direction. And people say to me, it's a developing country, it's a third world country. No, it's not. It's far in advance, in my opinion, culturally, politically, theologically, ideologically. I mean, there is a junta. There is, if you like, military rule at the moment, and people criticise that, but the military take over to protect the locals. I wish I could say the same about Richie Sunak or Keir Starmer or whoever else you've got in power. Boris Johnson, absolute joker. Here they're very serious with the politics. They have this law called La Majeste. If you take the mickey, if you disrespect government or king, you can end up in jail. Now, again, you could call that a nanny state, but it works. It absolutely works. If you steal a grain of rice here and get caught for it, you go to jail, and you do not want to go to jail here. You would not like to go to jail here, even though the World Economic Forum are encouraging you to eat insects. That's possibly what you'd be eating in a Thai jail, cockroaches, because the food would be appalling. And that's how it should be, in my opinion. It's a proper deterrent. That's my point of view. You might think differently. There's zero tolerance here. If you do something that's illegal, you're going to get punished for it, incarcerated for it, fined heavily for it. And again, my point of view, quite right. You don't see road rage here. You don't see disrespect in the classroom. The workers turn up for work. They're not on the phones. They're not skiving. They don't pull a sick day here. And again, people might say, well, that's a dictatorship. Well, for me, that works. You know the rules. And people here have a great religious, cultural, spiritual Buddhist faith. And that's good to see. You're driving down a road in a bus here or in a taxi, and the taxi man, the bus driver, and everybody in the vehicle with you, when they go past the temple, they'll bow. They'll show respect to the temple, which is very, very rare. At one time, I remember going to school in Burnage in South Manchester, and we used to sing hymns here when the banks open. The people in the bank, they open with the national anthem. Now again, a lot of people will criticise that. I commend that, and I'm not a royalist. I just think it's a discipline, it's a respect, and it's something that I think should be reintroduced in Western culture. And it's not so much, I don't have any respect for the royal family, I don't have any respect for government, but it's just that personal respect to show that you know your place, if you like. You do your job to the best of your ability. If you're treated fairly, then you respect the society or the organisation that allows you to live that life. There's far too many people, in my opinion, on benefits who are benefiting from the system, put nothing into the system and criticise the system, are trying to bring the system down. They're trying to bring the system down that supports them. They're not very nice to their fellow neighbours, left and right, up and down. They disrespect the elderly. They criticise the young. They haven't got a good thing to say about anything or anybody. You won't find that in Thailand. They call Thailand the land of smiles. Look at these people here on the right hand side, my point of view, working. It's probably 43 degrees. They'll have been out there since 7 o'clock picking grapefruit that ends up in our supermarkets, and they'll be probably working for the value of a bowl of rice. Look at the people here on the top of this car, sat there now doing something, people sleeping under the car. And, you know, just everybody is working. You get children assisting their parents on a farm. You get children, brothers and sisters, assisting their parents in a shop or a factory. The earning for a family, everybody in the family contributes. That's what I see, and I think that's wonderful. So I'm nearly at my property now. I'm nearly there. Car coming the other way. I'll pull over and let it through. How's your day? What's your point of view? I'm sure I've said lots of things that you'll agree or disagree with, but I offer this with love, constructively. If you've got any comments, be lovely and be constructive. I'd love to know what you think. Back in the UK shortly, but for now, here I am, and I'll be posting more, so like and subscribe, and if you need a chat, I'm here for that. Be powerful, enjoy your mind.